If we don't have liquor, we will try to stay open. We will. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know if we can.
Meanwhile, there is a bill at the State House that's been hanging around since the middle of February, which is a long time to be in the State House. This one has the actual potential, though, to do something significant for the city of Star, to save the Star Merc. Though it wouldn't really change anything, kind of just keep the status quo, like keeping something happening that's been happening for decades, right, Andrew?
Yeah, it's kind of how the liquor laws work in Idaho. We've talked about bars, but for liquor stores specifically, so there's a special distributor license. And if you walk into a state-run liquor store, that's typically the only place you can get liquor, but not in Star. They have that distributor license. That's because a state store is not always a good investment in a small town. So those special distributors like the Star Merc, they fill that gap for the state. But eventually the state will move in as the place grows. Then they'll drop the agreement. And that's also what is happening in Star. So the Senate amended and approved a bill to protect these agreements, historic distributors they call them, and those small businesses that grew to rely on the state liquor. For a mom-and-pop convenience store, the Star Merc built a brand
Not too bad.
on longevity.
I mean, we're over 100 years old.
Lifetimes.
Oh, yeah.
To Crystal Kelly.
Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knows everybody's stories, and it's not the same anymore.
Towns grow, places change.
My childhood is kind of getting taken away piece by piece.
Or rather, replaced.
I really want the Merc to be the one that doesn't get taken away.
For decades, the Merc peddled state liquor as a favor.
But it has been good for us.
And Denise
It has.
knows it's in danger.
Why would you want to do that? You know, it makes no sense when we've offered you basically as much room as you want. They literally could come and take it all away, I guess. I don't know what they'll do.
The Senate voted to crush those fears entirely.
I think this is a good move to preserve the opportunity for our small stores that are out there that this can be an important part of their business model.
House Bill 570 wants to protect these special distributor agreements, even after a state store moves into town. It gives shoppers options and historic distributors a chance.
And keep in mind, as that happens, competition will eventually take, work itself out, and if there doesn't become, or it no longer is productive to continue an operation, then that'll kind of take care of itself, so to speak.
The Senate amended the bill, ensuring a historic distributor agreement cannot be transferred, and a business cannot relocate to keep the agreement. It garnered support from some of the highest chairs in the chamber.
In my former district, the community of Star has one of these stores. It's been there for I don't know how many decades. It's an important part of the historical nature of their community, and I'd urge your support on this bill. Thank you.
Because without liquor,
We are counting down the days. Yes.
the Merc's likely to cut costs.
It's my favorite job I've ever had.
Without a receipt to return back to how it once was.
It's like one of the main cornerstones in Star that's still left standing. And everything else has changed.
The bill now moves back to the House because the Senate amended that legislation. The House now, too, needs to vote to approve those changes. That original bill, Brian, I believe it was 66-1 that passed in the House. They really didn't change a whole lot to it other than clarify some pieces of language. So I imagine this is probably ripe to get to the governor's desk.
So I guess that answers my question, why the delay with this one? It was introduced February 15th, I believe, and now we're here April 1st, still working its way through.
It sat in the Senate for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think there's only 5 people voting against it. And so it had strong support. I imagine the House will also support it again, but no guarantee.
Back to the House, back to the Senate. Senate already passed it, right?
Senate passed it.
Back to the
It's
House.
House, governor's desk.
Gotcha.
If it continues on the path to become a law.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.